Yeah, I mean, it's football. Love what they present. I think their head coach coming in and their offensive coordinator have brought a tough brand of an offense, which is cool to see. You see 3 quarterbacks in there running the football. You see, up to 4 tight ends on the field at the same time. And they want to be physical, and they are physical. They showed that against San Jose State in the first week. Like you said, it's unique. You're seeing mostly 11 personnel this day and age, maybe a little 12. And like I said, they're going 13 and 14. Where normally you might see a wide receiver hidden in the backfield, you're seeing number 52, a backup guard in the backfield. So they definitely present some different challenges schematically, and they want to come downhill. And so I told our guys, I mean, when they run the power play, right, a double team, guard pulls, kick out, right, they want to run right down the railroad tracks with that tailback. Okay, and it's almost like you picture the front of the train and they got that cow catcher on it. They're not going to kick out. They're coming downhill and hitting shit off the way. Sorry for my language. They're coming downhill at you. And so it's a tremendous toughness challenge. I respect their brand of football, and I'm looking forward to playing them.
How did your group handle your first game action without Jeremiah or JP?
Yeah, it's always next man up every year, no matter, things happen, we got to be ready to go. And so I thought the group continued to prepare last week, and it was a fun game day last Saturday. There's always things to clean up after game one, but I was proud of the way they came out and competed, and so excited to build off week one. Every guy's a little different, collectively. I would say it was a little bit different for each guy. So just things we're going to constantly continue to work on, try to be our best.
Where have you seen Cam really grow here over the camp and maybe even into week one?
Yeah, I think it started in spring ball. I think Cam had a great spring, got seasoned at multiple positions where he had to dive in and really learn not just what one position is, but learn big picture. What are we doing with all 11? So he understands which piece when he bounces around and star and money. And so I think having that in spring, coming into fall camp, I thought he was more dialed in and confident, playing faster, which allowed him to be physical. And so really excited about where Cam Lindsay is right now. I mean, he's playing good football with confidence. And it was good to see him make some plays there on Saturday.
On the sack he had, I'm watching the quarterback and it's like out of nowhere, here comes 24 running. Is that just what he can do? Does he have that kind of closing speed and explosiveness?
Yeah. I mean, you freeze frame it, and I think it's an angle tackle on the far hash, and he's got to go inside out with 33 yards of field to go, and does a great job pinning the hip and wrapping him up, and not getting a personal foul, but going for the football. So I mean, those are good finishing thoughts, great angles. That's a good football play. So excited about that, and like you said, it was a little unorthodox how it happened with the quarterback scrambling around, but he executed. So it was good to see.
You guys will use Nick Lappy a lot more this year. How would you just evaluate his performance from Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Lappy's been in the mix for a long time. I'm backing up Servassier Dennis, several years ago as a Mike linebacker when, Brandon George was down. So he's been seasoned. He's been in the mix. We trust Nick Lappy. Over the last 3 seasons, I think he's led us in special teams reps in the 4 kick units. So he's played a lot of football here as a Pitt Panther, and he continues to be trustworthy and a guy we can lean on. And so he's in there. He can run the mic. He can run the money. He can line up a star if we needed. He knows it. And so love having Nick there available because he's consistent and he knows what to do when he plays his tail off.
I would assume Nick's grown a lot from the guy you first met.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he's always been a quieter guy, and he wants to understand big picture everything, and I think he does now. And like I said, just like with Cameron Lindsay, right, that gives you confidence when you know what to do, you've practiced it, you've had successful patterns in the past of execution. It gives you confidence on game day.
Brian, does it fire up the room when a guy gets his opportunity after playing teams, doing whatever it's taken, and now he's getting some opportunities on the field?
Absolutely. I think, especially the very end of the game, we got, Manny Taylor out there, and the guys are fired up to see a young guy go out there and do it. And you can see maybe the little bit of nervous eyes. The guy goes on the football field for the first time, and the veteran guys who've all been in those shoes, several years before, they get excited for that for sure. And so I think those guys getting experience was great for them. We'll build off of it, good or bad, and we'll move forward, take that experience as a learning element, and make sure we can grow.
How has Brayen Love evolved just in all facets of his game, just being a guy that now has a couple years under his belt in the program?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. I mean, he came in very athletic, right? I coined him a Swiss Army knife because he could do it all mentally, physically. He's grown into the Mike. A couple springs ago, he did Mike and then went back to outside last season. Did Mike again all this last spring, is now in there at Mike. So he's seasoned in there. He does a great job getting us lined up, communicating with the guys, leadership. All that stuff's grown tremendously. He's always had the athletic tools. And then I would say the coat of armor and physicality is coming along as well. So you're seeing him strike some blockers differently, tackle and knock people back a little better. So I think it's all coming together, everything, mentally, leadership-wise, and physicality.
How would you assess his first start at Mike on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought we got us lined up. We were playing the defense. You didn't see a bunch of guys not on the same page, and that's a tribute to him being the quarterback of the defense, making sure everybody's lined up and go. Like I said, there's always things to clean up, footwork, eye control in different scenarios. A couple plays in space, he took some shots. You'd like to see him end up on those, but if he takes, we tell everybody, you take a full speed shot, and that ball carrier has to make a drastic change of direction, and the next guy tackles him for a 0-yard gain. We like that aggressive style, and so. But he's also challenged to make that too. So that's where we're at.
Kyle seems really self-motivated. Is it ever a challenge to, I guess, one up that drive and kind of keep the pressure on him? Work so hard and has that drive.
I don't find it hard to challenge Kyle because he wants to be the best in the world. You know what I mean? It's every play. He's looking for every little thing, every little edge to make a great play. Disappointed when he's wrong. Disappointed when he doesn't make it exactly how he wants to. But pretty damn cool to see those back-to-back sacks and see, him time up that blitz and go make that play deep in the backfield, knowing that they're a deep spin-out team. He anticipated it, made it. And then the next one, every tackle on a quarterback's an open field tackle, so they're not easy, right? They see you coming, they're going to move. You got to keep your hips down, which he does a great job. I think he changes direction better than any linebacker in the country, and he's able to boom, boom, get him on the ground. And so he stays motivated. I promise you he won't be satisfied at any point this year, and he's going to keep working, and he's ready to go to Saturday.
Ryan, how have you seen the high expectations, preseason accolades affect your group?
That's a great question. I think, certainly you can't ignore it, and so it's something that we try to own. We want to be the best in the country as a linebacker position group, and so that's a challenge every day that they have to live up to. You know what I mean? And if you have a day off or a bad series or bad plays, you're letting each other down, the brotherhood within the group. And so I think they do a good job of iron sharpens iron, getting on each other, making sure everybody's bringing their best foot forward, every rep on the practice field and certainly on game day.
Kyle's one of the first non-senior captains in a minute here. Were you surprised by that at all, or especially with how quiet of a guy he can be?
No, I don't think Kyle's quiet. I think he has a very gregarious, competitive, awesome personality that draws guys to him. And I think people see how hard he works, right? Last year he led, didn't talk too much. He led by example, working his tail off and seeing the fruits of his labor. Now it was time for him to step up and be more vocal because eyes are on you once you become a playmaker. And so not surprised at all. He's worked hard at doing the right things and saying the right things, keeping a consistent message. And again, his preparation, his routine has stayed the same. He's in there early watching film, making sure he knows what he's doing, and he's dialed in every day.
You talk about next guy up with injuries, and when you look at the depth chart in the middle, you have Nick Lappy or Ibrahim being the walk-on. What did he do to put himself in that position, and what does he bring to this unit?
Yeah, Abe has done a great job over the couple years, just gaining knowledge. He's a guy who could play all three positions in his past here, has stepped up in a special teams capacity, and then he really had a really great spring. Made plays where in the past he wasn't making them. And so putting it all together mentally and physically, he's a guy who stepped up, and mentally he's always been there. So excited about what Abe's bringing to the table, excited for his season.
When guys get here, freshmen or whatever, it seems like they try to learn basically every position. At what point do you start to say, hey, we want you to specialize in this one spot or the other? Is it just age?
I'd say it's a little different. Usually give them one primary position and a second to learn. And then as they learn two, sometimes get the third. So, for instance, if you come in, you're a star, you're going to learn money. If you come into money, are you more of a star or Mike type guy? And the Mikes are also going to learn money, if that makes sense. And then certain body types like Brayen, Servassier, right? They could fit each position type, and they have to have the intelligence, obviously, to play all three. And as you know, the Mike is the quarterback of our defense, so they have to have the ability to lead and have that knowledge.
She missed missed the spring. How do you think he practiced in the summer, and how would you assess it, next season?
Yeah, that's a great question. I thought spring had the maturity to be locked in and dialed in and continue to grow, which was really cool. And when we hit summer camp, he didn't miss a stride, which was cool to see. And so he's been working his tail off. He wants to be the best in the world, like I said. So he's putting right there with Kyle, making sure he's out competing them every day, going for takeaways of the day or player of the day, whatever it may be, competing his tail off with Kyle. So that's fun to watch. And I thought in the first game, I thought he played hard and aggressive. When you see him off the edge in some of the pass rush situations, he's disruptive. He's got an uncanny ability to be slippery and get around blocks. So I'm excited about his first game. He was productive, and it was good to see.
The question about learning different positions, where's Cam in that process right now?
Cam's at Star Money. Maybe a couple years down the road, we'll throw Mike in the bucket. Yeah, he's at Star Money right now.
Do you feel comfortable with him? Because obviously, like we said, your depth took a big hit. Do you feel comfortable putting him at
Yes, I do. Yeah, Star Money. Yeah.
All good.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.